My journey of the dark night of the soul started in 2011, and it was in Thailand. I was in Thailand at the time, and I had my spiritual awakening in Thailand. I was doing a meditation. I came out of my body, and then I could see myself, and I was flying around the room, and it was like a huge experience for me. I realized at that time I was not my body, I was not my mind, and then after this experience, I started getting a condition called costochondritis, which is inflammation of the sternum. Very, very painful condition to have. And, my breathing started being affected and stuff like this. And not only at the time, I started getting very, very badly depressed whilst I was in Thailand. And so it was actually interesting because I actually manifested that trip to Thailand. Okay. So you want to be careful what you ask for sometimes. Okay. You want to make sure you visualize it all the way through and you're harmonious, and you're happy and you're healthy and all of this stuff. But anyway, I'd manifested a free trip to Thailand for 6 months, all expenses paid for 6 months living in Thailand. And so, yeah, during that time, I was by myself quite a lot, had a lot of time to meditate, to get to know myself, to get to know my thoughts, to realize my thoughts and things like this. And that was the first time I was ever living alone too. And so, I got to take care of myself, even though I had financial support. I was working on an online business. I was running a business online at the time. And I went there to learn from my business mentor at the time, and learn about business and doing product launches and things like this. And, this is when my dark night of the soul started becoming more and more aware of myself, and at that time, as I had that spiritual experience, spiritual awakening, I became disassociated. Disassociated when you're not associated with yourself. It's almost like you are watching, you are not watching through your own eyes, you are watching yourself in a way. Like, you don't feel like you're in your body, you don't feel grounded, you don't feel here, you're up in space, somewhere floating around. But you don't feel associated, you don't feel grounded within your body, you don't feel connected to your body. At the time, I also had emotional numbness as well. And that's something that I had to learn to overcome as well. Really, really challenging. And so at the time, I didn't know what was happening to me. There wasn't really much videos about, spiritual awakening, and YouTube was pretty new, I guess. I'm not sure actually, but I don't think there were much videos on that topic, or maybe I just didn't know what to search or whatever. But anyway, at the time, I was by myself going through that. Anyway, after the 6 months of going through that experience and living in Thailand, I came back to the UK. And because of how peaceful it was in Thailand, like there was no sirens, there was no cars driving around all the time, and this person shouting, that person shouting, or whatever, right? So quiet. In the UK, I realized how noisy it was. And the noise alone would give me anxiety. I became very sensitive to sound, and I couldn't take it. It was real hard for me. And that was the time when I was in like a toxic, narcissistic relationship. And because I wasn't the same person anymore at the time, I guess, and I became, weak, and I didn't want to do certain things or whatever it is, it led to me going into a deeper hole in a way. And I became more and more depressed because no one understood me or what I was going through. My ears started ringing a lot as well. My ears was ringing very, very badly at the time. Some people say it's tinnitus or tinnitus. All right. Some people say it's spiritual downloads that you're getting. And so when I say that this ringing was painful, it was painful, not painful as in like, it's hurting, like painful as in it's like sharp, like a sharp sound. And it's like, when you hear that sound, kind of like, it's just like, like in the movies where you have like a grenade or a bomb go off, and then they'll hear that beep. Like, imagine hearing that 24/7, and like it's like piercing, right? So that's what I was going through at the time, and it was real hard for me. at the time, again, like I was saying, I was in a toxic relationship, a dark night of the soul, and I was learning. I didn't know I was learning at the time. I thought I was just going through a hard time, right? I was learning, about what I do want and things of this nature. And so the first thing that I want to share, like, is like, if you're going through a challenging time, the dark night of the soul, like, you want to be around people who know what you're going through. Okay, you need to get into some sort of group, mastermind, create your own group, meet up, whatever, once a week, bi-weekly. You need people around you to support you in what you're going through. The depression, the anxiety, the sensitivity, the not wanting to be around people, right? You have to kind of force yourself to be around people if you're going through that experience. And stay connected, because the more you're around people who are going through what you're going through, it creates this sense of knowing that you're not alone. You know, you're not by yourself. You're not going through this alone, because it can be a strange thing to go through. You know, doctors don't even know what to do with you, you know, all this stuff, right? And, it's not something that can necessarily be diagnosed. And so doing meetups will really help. You know, another thing that you could do that can help is get like a spiritual mentor, a coach. But just want to be clear right now, if you're looking for a spiritual coach or mentor to support you on your journey, be sure that they have testimonials, right? That they have credibility. That is not someone random on Instagram who has a fake profile with hardly any pictures. Or you want to be very wary of who you pass over money to, who's supporting you on your journey, because you're dealing with spirituality, spiritual energy. You are dealing with something beyond our physical senses, okay? And in that realm, you need to know what you're doing. And a lot of people, they will have certain energies and things that they're going through, and you don't want that, being passed on over to you. Okay, you want to work with someone who done the work, and has result after result after result after result after result. Okay, if they don't have a bunch of testimonials, like if you go to my website now, if you go to gavinspeaks.com, that is not even you'll see my testimonials, right? But that is not even a quarter of my testimonials. That is nowhere near. There's probably maybe 20 to 25 testimonials on there. That is not even the small. I get testimonials literally every day in my mastermind group and stuff like that from the results that I get for people. Okay, and so this is something that comes through experience. A lot of things that I've personally been through, constantly working on myself. It doesn't happen by accident, it happens through not only being a master, I wouldn't say master, but like working on myself so much. But a lot of people, they will become spiritual coaches, spiritual teachers, all this stuff, but they're unable to duplicate their success. That is the hardest thing to do, right? You can get a lot of people can get results for themselves, but when you become a master at something is when you can duplicate it into others. If you look at like a company like McDonald's, right? They've built a system, right? Not that, I'm not saying praising them or anything like that, right? I'm just saying like they're a big company for a reason, okay? It's a franchise, right? And that franchise has been duplicated literally all around the world, even in third world countries. How is this? They have a system that works time and time again. It's proven, all right? Doesn't matter where they go, what they do, right? They always seem to be getting customers and generating revenue. All right, they have a system with McDonald's. They have a system that they follow to make the burger, the fries, do this, and that. All right, and all people need to do is come in, look at the instructions, do this, do this, do this, do this, and it works. Does that make sense? And so what I'm saying is, you get to this level of specialized knowledge. In the book Think and Grow Rich, there's a chapter dedicated to specialized knowledge, and it's basically becoming a genius at one specific thing. And so for me, I've just worked in a particular area, not to be too egotistical here, but I've worked in a particular area for so long, put so much energy into working on myself and working on others, that now whenever I do something with people, wherever I touch turns to gold, right? In this particular area of my life, or in my business, or my light working, or my light warrioring, right? Right? What I do just works. It's proven. The only way it won't work for you if you don't do the work. Does that make sense? If you just sit there and think stuff's going to change for you without doing the work, then obviously it's not going to work. But if you actually implement it, it's going to work. And so what I'm saying here is be careful who you hire. Be careful who you work with. Okay, do they have specialized knowledge? Have they been doing it for a long time now? Do they have testimonials? And I wouldn't necessarily say they need to have qualifications. Because for me, I can get all the healing modalities. I've done a bunch of different healing modalities, and I've learned a bunch of stuff. I've traveled, I've learned from different coaches and mentors and all of this stuff. But what I can tell you is you can have the certifications just like you can have a PhD or a degree or whatever it is, but you still can't get the job, right? You still could be crap at that job or whatever it is, right? Your certification does not matter as much as the value that you bring, the results that you can bring to people. And so my certification, in my opinion, and what you need to look for is testimonials, getting other people results. Can you duplicate your success? Another thing that I recommend when it comes to going through the dark night of the soul is really being gentle on yourself. Okay, and allowing yourself to feel rather than fight what you feel. If you're fighting what you're feeling, you are causing more damage. And what I see happens for people who are going through dark night of the soul is that they use their vulnerability, right? They use their vulnerability or their weakness at the time and make themselves more weak, right? And what I would say is don't go inward and be more weak. Okay, you want to go outward and be more strong. Okay, you want to challenge yourself to do things and develop your spiritual strength. All right. If you go inward and you become more empathic and you become more sensitive, it's building a deeper and deeper hole for yourself. Okay, you want to push yourself to go into those environments that are challenging. Take breaks, of course. For example, if you've been invited out with friends to go out or whatever it is, but it's noisy, there's a lot of noise and it's hard to deal with and stuff like that. Sometimes you want to challenge yourself to go into these experiences and challenge your brain and your system to be normal, in a way, to be normal. Not to disown what you're feeling right now or experiencing right now. There's two parts to this. One is being gentle with yourself and taking your time to go through the emotions and what you're feeling. But two, don't go too far in the relaxation, in the solitude, in the hermit, in the hibernation mode, right? Don't go too far into the cocoon, right? Because I can tell you it leads to more and more depression, loneliness, and feeling like no one's there for you and things like this. Okay, try and do the normal things in life as well. What I also think is very important when you're going through the dark night of the soul is that you eat foods that are dense. And what I mean by that is got high nutritional profile. You want to be eating whole foods that strengthen you, strengthen your system, give you energy and vitality. All right, because if you're doing the opposite, if you're eating too light, when I say light, I mean foods that are a little bit more lighter. For example, a fruit like a banana or an apple, very light. Celery, right? They're light foods, whereas like a potato is more dense and thick. So basically what I'm saying is foods that have more strength to them, right? That, you know, are more solid, grounded foods, foods that grow within the soil, underground, and will ground your energy. Does that make sense? You want to be eating foods that make you feel strong, all right? And then doing some exercise along with that will help, all right? It's very, very important that you keep your body active, keep your body moving, and exercising. It's so, so important if you're going through a dark night of the soul. If you're just, you know, indoors a lot of the time and you're living a sedentary lifestyle, it's not going to be helpful, okay? You want to be eating properly, try and, you know, push yourself to eat a little bit more than usual, so that your body has the fuel to deal with all of the energy that you're dealing with. You're dealing with a lot of spiritual stuff, right? When you're going through dark night of the soul. So you need the strength, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to handle all of those different things. And if you're just eating, you know, very little, you know, you're not supporting your body, you're not supporting your system, you're not supporting your vibration. Also, whilst going through the dark night of the soul, I recommend listening to love-based frequency. All right. So if you type in 432 hertz here on YouTube, love frequency, there's a very, very powerful love frequency that you can go to. I'll put the thumbnail on screen so you can see which one I listen to. It's very, very powerful. And when I say this vibration is very, very powerful, I mean this genuinely. It activates certain energies within myself that triggers me to do light language. And that, for that to happen, it needs to be an extremely high vibration in order for that to happen to me. All right. And so this frequency is very, very powerful. I highly recommend listening to it every single day. Also, burning white candles. You can burn 3 white candles a day. You can get those tea light candles, burn 3 of those a day. And to keep harmony within the home, burning some incense will help as well. You know, clear the energy within your home and keep the vibration nice and pure. You can also look into feng shui and organize your home so that the energy is flowing through it properly and you're keeping positive vibes within your home. All right, this will really help you with the dark night of the soul, you know, keeping the vibes high and things of this nature. You can also get my free energy reading and manifestation diagnosis session. So I can read into your energy, what's going on, and how to raise your vibration properly in order to speed up the process of coming out of the dark night of the soul and getting into that frequency that will transform your life in terms of manifestation, but also feeling your normal self once again. All right. So the link will be in the description where you can go ahead and get that. Check out this video over here on the 6 horrific things that happened to me in my life that I was able to overcome and how I overcame them. And check out this 3-part series over here on how to raise your vibration properly. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.